all yours, Leslie.
Okay, so next slide, I guess, Rick.
Oh, Rick, you're the director.
Oh, I think
There you go.
there we go. All right, so we can go to the next slide. Oh, there's a beautiful river ship on the Rhine River to get everyone excited. Seeing castles and the wineries and the toll booth.
Oh,
The
look at that.
panorama suite. So this is what majority of you have booked is the panorama suite. These rooms are 200 square feet. The bed's positioned to look on the waterway that you can see. If you're traveling with a companion that you're not planning on sleeping with, the beds can be separated into two beds. And Cindy probably have already requested that with our groups department team. And but this room is very spacious. There's plenty of space to unpack your suitcase and put it in all your clothes in the closet in the chest and put your empty suitcase under the bed. There is a television in the room that has English speaking news stations as well as on-demand movies. You're going to have an ice bucket, a wine opener, wine glasses, and complimentary bottled water in your room as well. Next slide, Rick. So here's another angle of that same room, and they're very, very spacious. And you can see kind of the corner of the desk there, as well as you can see the love seat and the chair. Next slide. This is the category E and D. So those of you that have booked this category, these are 172 square foot rooms. They're very spacious as well. And again, you unpack, put your empty suitcase under the bed. Uh, we have robes and slippers available for guests as well. We use the L'Occitane bath essentials, so you don't really worry. You don't need to bring your best bath essentials from home. Don't take up that luggage space because we use premium bath essentials on the ship. And then there is going to be two USB ports in all the rooms to plug in your devices. So there's the slide there showing you can plug in your device, as well as there's power outlets. And just remember, you're traveling in Europe, so it's the two-prong European voltage, as well as you will need an adapter, or if you are traveling with anything higher voltage like a curling iron or a straightener, you might need to bring your voltage converter as well. But the USB ports are really meant to charge your phone, your tablet. So they're meant for a low wattage device. Next slide. This is the Panorama Suites bathrooms. You can see the L'Occitane bath essentials. We have his and her towels. We have the light up makeup mirror. There is a marble sink with extra, like a large counter space, as you can see here. Very spacious bathrooms that we have on board. And the Avalon Deluxe staterooms are similar. They're just a little smaller than this image here. So when you're out doing tours or when you're in your room, Avalon is very creative of how to let our crew know that you're in your room or you're not in your room. So you'll see this for your door. You could be out exploring or you could be snoring. And maybe you're not even having a nap, but maybe you're, FaceTiming with the family or just wanting some quiet time. These are what you'll find that you can put on your door. When you're out exploring, put them out on your door when you're out on excursion. So your room attendant knows they can come on in your room and tidy it up before you come back from your excursion. So we have elegant spaces throughout the river ship. Happy hour will be included every night in the Panorama Lounge around 5:45 every night. But there is a dance floor in the evening in the Panorama Lounge. We will have some activities. We bring on local entertainment. You're in a 7 night cruise, so most likely there's going to be every second night you're going to have local entertainment come on board, and it's all different types of. It could be musicians. It could be entertainment like a comedic act. Avalon works with all different type of entertainers on the Rhine River. We also will have like trivia or karaoke night as well. And I always say this is as fun as the group wants it to be as fun and participate. Next slide, Rick. Yeah, thanks. There's also alternative dining, not only with your meals, but Avalon includes afternoon coffee and tea every day. You don't really read about that online or in your flyer that Cindy created for this group. But every day at 4 o'clock, we're going to have coffee tea service in the Panorama Lounge. We also have cakes and the little macaroon cookies, and it's just a nice little thing to go enjoy and have somebody serving you your coffee. We also have the bistro, and this is the same area we use for the coffee and tea service time. We have used the bistro for breakfast and lunch and dinner, which I'll talk about in a moment. And you can see the bottom picture is the club lounge. Now, this is a quiet space on the royal deck at the very back, where you do have panoramic views of the river. This is where a lot of groups like to hang out, have coffee, tea. We have cookies. We have dried fruit and nuts, and just relax in more of a quieter space than the panorama lounge. So here's the coffee and tea espresso machine you can see here in the image in the club lounge is very popular. Avalon also has a coffee tea espresso machine in the panorama lounge. So it's the main lounge that's complimentary as well. It's right next to the bar. I always say the bar is not complimentary, but the coffee tea espresso machine is. We also have water refill stations on the river ship, ice machines on the river ship. I mentioned we do have an ice bucket in your room if you wanted to fill up your ice bucket. You bought a nice Riesling on the Rhine River and chill it on ice. You can do that in your room. And we've given you all the tools to enjoy this. Avalon allows you to bring on your own alcohol. Actually, our crew are very nosy of what you purchase because they know they're going to be back there the next week. So they might go and purchase what you've purchased. But you're welcome to bring on your own alcohol and consume it in your room and in the areas where we're not licensed, which could be the club lounge here as well as the sky deck. We are licensed in the panorama lounge and our dining room. All right, so let's talk about food. So with Avalon, you're going to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner included. The choices are endless when it comes to the cuisine. I know Rick and Cindy have traveled on Avalon a few times, and they could tell you all the choices from every cruise, right? So for breakfast, you have options of having in your room for room service. So it would be a continental breakfast. And we will bring you your coffee, your tea, and some croissants and some fruit to your room. And then your second choice for breakfast would be going to the dining room for a full buffet, full buffet breakfast, including an egg and omelet station. We include sparkling wine for breakfast as well, so you can have a mimosa for breakfast if you like. But we also include juices, smoothies, lattes, cappuccinos, coffee, tea, all of that's included at breakfast. We also have a menu at breakfast. So if you're not a buffet person, we do have an a la carte menu where you can order off the menu and not have to go to the buffet. I always say, get your morning coffee brought to your room, enjoy the egg station while you're waiting for your eggs. Maybe get some cereal or something cold, and then always order off the a la carte. So you've enjoyed everything all in one meal with Avalon. Lunch, you have choices for lunch. We have our main dining room open for lunch, where it is a buffet lunch, as well as we have a pasta station and a carving station. We also offer an a la carte menu for lunch, where you find the feature sandwich of the day. You can get some chicken rice, Caesar salad, some of those staples you always find in the a la carte menu. We also have lunch available in the bistro, which is part of the Panorama Lounge. It's that far left-hand picture on the slide there. You can see that's kind of the bistro setup. So it's not in the dining room, but it's got panoramic views of the river, especially if you're cruising in the Rhine Gorge. You might want to have lunch in the bistro that day. But it's a smaller buffet. It offers similar to what's downstairs in the dining room, just smaller options of it. And then you can see that you sit more of a bistro table versus a dining room table. And also for lunch, you are traveling in early September, so most likely we will have the Sky Grill open for lunch about 2 times on your cruise, where we'll have a grill lunch on the Sky Deck, which is, a really nice atmosphere to have lunch on the Sky Deck. We also, for your last choice for lunch, if maybe you're out on an excursion or you took the bikes out on your own time and you want Avalon to pack you up a lunch, we can do that, no problem. Just marketing puts pictures of wine in those images. We don't pack you up a bottle of wine, but we'll pack you up a nice lunch to take out on your excursion with you if you're not going to be back to the ship for lunch. Then dinner, you have two choices for dinner. Again, in the dining room, you have a four-course dinner to choose from. It's not buffet, it is a four-course elegant dinner, including beer and wine. I forgot to talk about lunches. It also includes beer and wine and soft drinks. Dinner has the beer and wine, soft drinks included. And then you have endless choices on the menu. You have standing choices as well as choices that change every day. And don't worry, I have a slide of pictures of food coming. Don't worry. And then if you're not into going and having a four-course dinner in the dining room, you go back to the bistro and have like a small buffet dinner. And really, the options in the bistro and that buffet are very similar to the plates that are served in the dining room for dinner. So you can actually sample almost everything people are trying downstairs in the bistro. Next slide. So everything is locally sourced on the river cruise. So you're going to notice on the itinerary on the Rhine, you're going to see like a little Google pinpoint on the menu, so you know where everything is a local, regional cuisine. But we work with local vendors throughout the Rhine itinerary. We say it's farm to fork, and we also will have a lot of choices that are from the region as well as North American choices. So if you want steak and potato or you want burger and fries, yes, Avalon offers that. Or if you want, schnitzel, or you want something very authentic, a Dutch plate or some fresh fish, we have that as well on board. So these are just some images of what I just talked about. So we'll just skip this slide because I kind of went through all of this already with the other slide. This is in the pictures of the dining room. With a group. I know Cindy's traveled with a group with Avalon, and Rick has traveled many times, so they know how the tables are kind of set up, because we do have tables for 8, 6, 4, and 2. So Cindy knows that, and most likely her or Rick will go down before dinner every evening and make sure that they find tables for the group to sit close together in the dining room, because it is an open concept that we have with Avalon. So we don't have any reserved seating. But you can see the lovely table setup. We have the oil and vinegar, of course, included with dinner, with the bread service as well, which is very, very tasteful. And I've already mentioned the regional beer and wine that's included every night with dinner as well. So if you didn't have dinner yet tonight, like I haven't, this is a very juicy slide, just showing you all the different options on Avalon. Like I mentioned, if you have a dietary restriction, please let Cindy and Rick know, because they'll let our groups team know that, so the ship will know when you embark if you are vegan or you're gluten-free or low sodium. We were able to cater to everybody, and most likely you'll sit down with a meeting with the chef and the maitre d' to kind of go over what to expect in the next 7 nights. And every day at your meals, actually, the chef or the maitre d' will most likely speak to you as well to make sure that you are very fulfilled and the options that you have are good. My favorite is the bottom right-hand photo of that cheese plate, if you saw that. So with the excursions, and I'm going to talk about, there's the cheese plate there. With the excursions, I'm going to talk about the excursions on the romantic Rhine itinerary day by day, because you do have choices. You have passed your final payment time now, so you can go on to the My Avalon website and choose all of your included excursions and also view any of the optional excursions. With the optional excursions, I do have screenshots in the slides today. I'll just give you a heads up. I believe they are in euros, but if you go on the My Avalon website right now, it's all in Canadian dollars. So it's always a better value to purchase them in advance for the ones that aren't included. And again, it's always better for when excursions are included. They also choose those in advance and not wait till you're on the river ship. So we know how many guides that we need to arrange transportation, etc. And some of the excursions are limited and they might sell out. So I hate for you to miss out on that as well. So you've just put your final payment down so you can book excursions, and Cindy will talk to you. She's very familiar with how to book your excursions in advance. So we'll talk about the next slide. All right, so we also have a mobile app, which this is not available until 30 days prior to your cruise. The beginning of August, you can download your Avalon Go app. This app is a tool meant for you to use in the destination. This is where Avalon will have your daily newsletter. You'll have the menus featured every day on here. The cruise director will push any notifications through the app. It also has a currency converter. It has your daily excursions on there. I'm going on Avalon in a few days. I just got the push notification with all the excursions I've already pre-booked in the document on there. It'll have your docking station on here. So it's a tool that is meant to be used in the destination. It's not your planning tool. The planning tool is our My Avalon website, which is part of your travel packet. And of course, that's where you would book your excursions and everything. And again, Cindy and Rick can help you out with all of that as well. Next slide, please. So we also have these groovy adventure hosts on board. They are personal trainers, so don't get intimidated by them. But they do lead some of the active excursions, like some of the biking, and this itinerary has hiking. And they also have daily activities on the river ship, like mornings, yoga, stretch classes. If we've got a good group on board, they will arrange like activities on the sky deck some afternoons. We do have a little putting green on our sky deck, as well as we have the cornhole tournament capability on our sky deck as well. But we have these activities daily with them, so just watch your Avalon newsletter because the adventure host will have something posted daily. So this is just the river connections in Europe map. So kind of all the areas that Avalon sails. I know Cindy will be asking you where you want to go to next because she's eager to look at her 2026 options. But today I'm going to focus on the Rhine River itinerary, which is kind of that green, kind of like a little bit to the right, that green north-south, yeah, right there. Yeah, green north-south river. And that's what I'm going to be focusing on today. All right, let's go to the next slide. All right, so there's that closer up of that itinerary. You're going Amsterdam to Basel, 7 nights, 8 days on the Rhine River. And you're going September 2nd through the 9th, 2025. So let's go the day by day now and talk about what to expect day by day. So first off, I think you probably chose the Rhine for many reasons, but it is one of those multinational waterways. You got the Netherlands, you have Germany, you have France, and you have Switzerland. So you have 4 countries in 7 nights. And why do I say France? Is that you are going to Strasbourg, which is included on the river cruise. It is castles in the air. Like this is an image of Marksburg Castle that you will be seeing from the river. One of those castles that they kind of redid for tourists. So it's not just a ruined castle. But when you're in the Rhine Gorge area, it's like a ping pong match of castle on your right, castle on your left, castle on your right. Avalon does commentary in the gorge. You have a history behind the castles if you're interested in knowing more. And they give out a document with the kilometer markings of what castles are at each of the kilometer markings. So when you're taking photos, going home, you'll know which castles those were as well. A lot of vineyards. You'll see a lot of vineyards along the Rhine River. Absolutely stunning. And of course, you're in a World UNESCO Heritage Site. A lot of the Rhine itinerary includes World UNESCO Heritage Site when it comes to excursions as well. When you're sailing, some of the areas are World UNESCO Heritage Sites. So this is a day 1 in Amsterdam is your embarkation. So you might arrive into Amsterdam and you see a few Avalon ships around together. You'll know your docking station about 72 hours prior. It will be a push notification in the app where your docking station is. The docking stations are all very central, close to the Amsterdam Central train station. So they're very central in Amsterdam. So this is kind of what you might see in Amsterdam on that day 1 embarkation. Next slide. When you come on board the Avalon, I believe you guys are on the Avalon View, not the Vista, but I love this picture of the Avalon Vista front desk. You'll come on board. And your ship you could board at any time. Your room might not be ready until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but you're welcome to come on board at any time. We'll have snacks in the morning available in the Panorama Lounge, and we'll have a lunch set up in the Panorama Lounge as well. And even you can have your beer and wine included on us at lunch when you come on board as well. Next slide, please. When you come on board, we're going to ask to take your passport, copy of your passport when you're checking into your room. They'll take a picture of you just for security identification as well, so the crew members know who all the people that are on board. When your room is ready around 3 o'clock, you will find your luggage been taken to your room for you. You don't have to worry about your luggage. We sanitize it and take it to the room for you. You can see mine's propped up on the bed here because they were small. Blanket underneath our luggage actually says Avalon luggage. It's meant to be a luggage blanket, so you can put your luggage on your bed and unpack it. And again, put it in everything in the closet and put that empty suitcase under the bed. And make sure that you're on the river ship by 5 o'clock. Your cruise director is eager to meet you as well. They're going to have a briefing during the port talk and the safety drill, but they are very excited to meet all 160-ish people on board the river ship. And they have a desk right next to the reception area, so they're really easy to find as well. And then if you do have time in Amsterdam prior and you have an afternoon free, Avalon does run some optional excursions in Amsterdam. One is an excursion to Zonsé-Champs, which is like a heritage park area. You learn about the wooden shoes, you learn about the cheese, you see the windmills, see how they operate. But if you want to join us, we do offer this excursion, and you can sign up for this excursion with the cruise director as well. Usually the excursion leaves about 1 o'clock after lunch, and it comes back before around 4 o'clock. It's about a 3-hour excursion. And then we will have our welcome reception, our safety drill just after 5 o'clock. That's why we ask everyone to be on at 5 o'clock, especially for the safety drill. It's not like a big ship that you have to go to a station on the ship. Everything happens in our Panorama Lounge. And you'll just see one of our crew members holding a sign with what your room numbers are. So it'll say room 202 to 220. You go check in with this crew member, and that's what we do for our safety drill. Then after the safety drill is over and everyone's checked in with the crew members, then the captain and some of the nautical team, as well as our management team, talk about some of the important safety features of the river ship, as well as our cruise director. Now, of course, we do have welcome drinks, and we have hors d'oeuvres as well included with the welcome reception. So the next day you will be visiting Amsterdam. So get a good night's rest because you have a full day in Amsterdam. You're going to give some excursion choices. One is the guided canal cruise. So we actually, the last few times I've been there, even though the canal cruise little port is very close to the river ship, there's some safety concerns. So we actually pick everybody up by motor coach and drive them over to where the canal cruises are. So that might be that, or you might be walking over to embark your canal cruise. But this is one of the most popular choices for people that have never been to Amsterdam. You see everything by the canal. You'll see Anne Frank's house. You'll see the Jordan district. You'll see all the homes, the life. You'll see everyone on the bikes going by you and on the streets, but you'll just really see Amsterdam to life on the canal cruise, and it's included. So in the afternoon, Avalon gives you some excursions that you can choose from if you want to do optional excursions. Or most people, what they do is really just stay in Amsterdam and explore Amsterdam on their free time, maybe do some shopping or go to a museum, maybe you want to book a ticket to go stay at Anne Frank's house, you have this afternoon free. If you want to get out of Amsterdam, Avalon offers the Meerslot Castle as well as a Dutch countryside bike tour if you're interested. And again, more information is going to be on the My Avalon website with the Canadian price points and the excursions that are available for you. These are just example excursions that could be available and for you when you go in September. Day 3, so we're going to overnight cruise. So Amsterdam, we usually leave at dinner time on day 2 and we cruise through the night. You're going to see the canal that gets you from Amsterdam onto the Rhine River at dinner time. You will see people out biking. Actually, one time when I was on there, I saw someone jogging faster than the river ship was moving. It was quite, we don't go very fast, like maybe 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers down the river. And then you're going to wake up on day 3 in Cologne. And the river ships in Cologne are very central. When you walk off, you're going to smell chocolate because we're really close to the Lindt chocolate factory is close by. And that's something you can do in your free time in Cologne after your excursions. So what's included in Cologne? I have a few slides here of your choices of excursions. So next slide. So one is you can do a bike tour with our adventure host for about 16 guests. So this one would be limited. This one you can only sign up for on the river ship. You can't sign up for this in advance. Anything with the adventure host, you have to sign up for on the river ship. They want to know, again, if you're capable of taking a bike tour, because some of us think we can do a bike tour and then we get there and we back out. So we hate to take someone else's spot, right? So the adventure host will take you through the paths of Cologne, but this is not a guided excursion by any means. They're not a historian. So you're just going to see Cologne by bike and following your adventure host. Another option is we have a Jewish heritage walking tour. So this will bring Cologne to life in a Jewish heritage perspective. It gets you off the beaten path as well than what the classic walking tour is doing. You'll learn about, I was telling Rick when I saw him a few weeks ago, you'll learn about a lot of World War II history on this tour as well. But they really focus pre-World War II, during World War II, and post-World War II, the guides, when they bring this tour to life. And you'll see the old Jewish quarter, as well as the tour will still end up at the Cologne Cathedral, where you could visit it after the tour is over and just walk back to the river ship for lunch. And then I believe the next slide should be the classic walking tour. So this is a great orientation tour. Most people do choose this one, that you walk the streets of Cologne, you hear the history, the sights. The guides truly bring it to life, talk about the homes, talk about the culture, talk about business life, of course, talk about a lot of the history. You'll again end your excursion at the Cologne Cathedral. The guides aren't allowed to go into the cathedral. The cathedral is free entrance. So they'll give you an orientation about the cathedral outside and kind of give you an idea where to find like the Three Wise Men. It's got some connection with the Cologne Cathedral. And they'll also talk about the cathedral of how long it took to build, as well as how it stood during World War II as well. So, then you will smell chocolate, I promise, when you're walking around Cologne. And the guides will tell you if you're interested in going to the Lindt chocolate factory, how to get there as well. And there's a pedestrian walking street where it's all the shops as well. And the guides make sure that they're going down that street before the shops are open, or they'll probably lose half the group. But you'll know where the street is for when you do have free time. After lunch, you are given some free time in Cologne that you can explore the shops. We usually leave around like 4 o'clock or so in the afternoon, but your daily newsletter will have the exact timing when Avalon is leaving Cologne. It is a metropolitan city. There's lots to do here. So day 4, this is the day of you're in the Rhine Gorge. Now, this is why a lot of people choose the Rhine itinerary, is because of the beauty of the Rhine itinerary. It is a very open river as well. There's not as many locks and low-lying bridges like you would find on other rivers in Europe. So it is a very scenic river itinerary, and the Rhine Gorge itself, like I mentioned, is a World UNESCO Heritage Site by itself. And you will be arriving after your Rhine Gorge sailing. You will be arriving into a little place called Rudesheim. The next slide. So you'll see castles like the Rhinestein Castle here as you're sailing by. You can see the wineries on the other side of the river. Marksburg Castle, I showed you a little glimpse of it on another slide, but this is kind of what you'll see the castle on the hilltop while you're sailing. You're going to see also the Lorelei, the Lorelei rock, and you'll learn about the history of the Lorelei. She's not very big. Sometimes you need to zoom in with your camera or your binoculars to see her as well, but we will make sure that you don't miss her. In the afternoon, after lunch, we arrive into Rudesheim, where you do, and this is one of my personal photos here. It was a Christmas market cruise. That's why we're all a little bundled up, but you guys won't have to worry about that in September. But in Rudesheim, we include the Mechanical Music Museum. It's absolutely stunning in here. Don't miss it, because some people are like, oh, a music museum. It's actually a music box museum, the history of music boxes. And I've been here a few times, and every time I go, they bring out different ones to demonstrate. And it's absolutely mind-blowing to me, the history of what we've done with music over the years. So this is a example of one of our guests winding up the music box so we all can hear the music in the music box museum. After the music box museum, we go to the Rudesheimer Schloss, which we learn about how they make the Rudesheimer coffee, as you can see in the image with the lady on the right. The middle image here, you can see a man with a white hair on a stage, kind of looking out to the everyone at the tables. He is the owner of this establishment. He'll come out and greet everybody and talk to everybody, and then he owns a winery. So the few times I have been here, he also will offer free wine tasting for his winery as well. But very, very lovely man. He has been working with Avalon Waterways since we started. And he's always happy when we come by with our guests, and he makes sure that he comes around and talks to everybody. But it's definitely an authentic experience, and it's included, so why not? And it's included right after the Music Box Museum. If you're an active person, you're not interested in the music boxes, you don't want to taste the coffee and the wine, well, we do have a hike through, and you'll be in more of the vineyards because of the time that you're going. So you're going to see similar to this image here, but you can have a hike through the picturesque vineyards with your adventure host, and we just walk off the river ship and you go straight to this area. We have no motor coaching or transferring needed on this day. Rudesheim is very special, though. When you do have free time, there is a Katie Wolfhart Christmas store. They do have the famous Gastrasse, which is all the local restaurants and shops. But it's not very big at all. About 5 to 10 minutes, and you're back on the river ship from the central area. But it's a bit of an uphill walk. So for people that are interested, we do order that like a little choo-choo train to take people up to the top to the Mechanical Music Box Museum, and then it's easier to walk back down. So on day 5, we do offer a few choices of excursions in Mainz or in Heidelberg. So the next slides will show you some of the excursion choices that we have. So in Mainz, we have a walking tour in Mainz. You walk right off the river ship. You're in the heart of Mainz. You'll hear the airplanes at the Frankfurt airport actually very close by. But we have a walking tour that includes an inside visit of the Gutenberg Museum, which is famous for the Gutenberg press and the very first Bible. So it's a nice little inside visit to learning more about the iconic press machine and learning how they made printed the very first Bible. Or if you're interested, we go to Heidelberg, which now you have to take a motor coach to get you from the Rhine River to Heidelberg. In Heidelberg, we do have a guided excursion to the Heidelberg Castle. It's a ruined sandstone castle you can see here. You'll see one of the world's largest wine barrels as well here at the castle. And then after the guide excursion, we drive you down to the city of Heidelberg and give you free time to walk about Heidelberg and do some shopping, enjoy a cafe. It's got the Katie Wolf Court Star. It's got Starbucks. It's got everything. It is a metropolitan city. We also offer an active excursion with the adventure hosts that will focus on the Philosopher's Way in Heidelberg. So if you're interested in that, we do offer an inspirational walk with the adventure host. Next slide, yeah. And then day 6 was Strasbourg. So Strasbourg, I mentioned you are in France. And we do have to motor coach you over to France from the Rhine River. But then you will have a guided excursion in this stunning city called Strasbourg. You'll learn about its connections to the world, as well as the connection to Germany and France here, because it's very special, but learn about the timber homes you can see. And of course, it's got canals just like Amsterdam does, you can see in the image here. The walking tour includes, we also have a bike excursion with the adventure host as one of the choices. You can see people biking the paths of the Strasbourg area in this image. And then the next image should be an image of the walking tour. Yeah, and then with the walking tour, you walk the city of Strasbourg. It's not very big. They focus on a few squares, but they will end the excursion in this magnificent cathedral. You'll learn about the history of it with a guide. My guide last time I was there was still able to walk with us inside, but we weren't able to talk to you inside because it is a religious place, so they ask us to be respectful to the people in the cathedral. But it's absolutely stunning. You're really going to love Strasbourg for chocolate, for the cheese, for everything. Really, truly, you're in France, and indulge while you're in France on the Rhine River. You'll have some excursions in the afternoon for optionals. Most people, if you like wine, this is an opportunity to do a wine tasting optional, especially you're in the heart of where all the famous Riesling wines are from. Or we do offer a Defending France. It's a World War II history tour for people that are interested in World War II. I'm assuming it's still being offered on your cruise. I took this snapshot a few weeks ago for an October cruise, so I'm assuming these are still offered for your cruise as well. So more information is on the My Avalon website, but this kind of gives you some examples you can do in the free time. I mentioned Strasbourg, we have to coach you in, but what Avalon does, if you decide you want to stay in Strasbourg and enjoy the city, we actually offer transfer times back to the river ship. Most people will do the walking tour in the morning and come back to the river ship for lunch, and then they go back into Strasbourg in the afternoon and enjoy Strasbourg's free time in the afternoon, or they do one of these excursions. I've done the wine tasting excursion, this one here, and it's a very good. You go to a local winery, you'll learn about the co-op and everything. It's a very nice excursion. I haven't done Defending France. I'm sure that's something Rick would be interested in doing while he's on the cruise as well. Next slide. I'm almost done here, everyone. Day 7 is Breisach, which is focusing on the Black Forest or winemaking. So those are your excursion choices. There's not much in Breisach, to be honest with you. The river ship is very central. You'll see it like Breisach, like you see on the hilltop here. But it really is a small village versus the metropolitan cities. So the day before would be where I would recommend to do your shopping, and just enjoying, the city life, because Breisach is very, very small. So in Breisach, the choices of excursions is one is the excursion to the Black Forest. And then we go to open air museum, kind of again like a heritage park. You learn about life in the Black Forest and like a heritage style. And it's a little more focused to that region. Of course, you learn about Hansel and Gretel and everything as well on this excursion. And you're in the heart of the Black Forest. It's absolutely stunning. The other excursion is wine, and it's going to a winery. So this one is included. There's a local winery. We do have a wine tasting in this excursion as well. And then the last picture we kind of just went to, we can go to that one next. Next slide. is we do offer going to Freiburg's medieval city center, which is very close to where the winery is. Even the wine tasting people usually have free time in Freiburg as well after the excursion. But you have a walking tour and to learn about the history of Freiburg as well. The best meringue I've had in Europe actually came from Freiburg. There's a little store right by those gates, and it's very good. Like, and if you haven't bought anything to bring treats to bring home, you know, if you go to Freiburg, there's a little shop right there right before you have your coach transfers. In the afternoon, Avalon does offer an optional excursion to Colmar. You're going back into France, and it's very similar to Strasbourg, but more on the petite version. It is smaller than Strasbourg and is absolutely enchanting. So we do offer this excursion for people that are interested in it as well. And there's the more information on Colmar, like they call it the Little Venice. So it is an optional excursion for the afternoon. But some people have explored Breisach in the afternoon. Are you on your last day? So some people are prepping to go, packing up and getting ready to disembark the ship on the next day in that afternoon. And then day 8, you do have to say goodbye to Avalon. You're in Basel, Switzerland. And then I'm sure Rick and Cindy are going to talk all about the post after I'm done as well. But this is where you will be embarking the river ship. And I did have an image of flying home, but I'm sure they'll talk more about other options as well. So I think I do only have one more slide here, and if it's for questions. You can type them in the box, or you can ask Rick and Cindy after they talk as well, and they can reach out to me if they don't have the answers as well. But you've got my time if needed right now, so. Very quiet group.
Oh, sorry. I
It's
was just
okay.
wondering what kinds of amenities are on the boats for like, is there like a washing machine, dryer kind of, is there
We
stuff like that that we have access to?
No, it's really, as you can see this image here, it's very small. We do have, you send out your laundry. We do have a laundry room, but it's only for our staff. It's not very, I've seen it. It's not safe for us guests to go in there. It's a very small space and they're professionals at it. But the laundry prices, I'm going on Avalon in a few weeks, so I can send Cindy the picture from my room. The prices aren't very expensive. And again, this is so not to worry, but it's we don't have any public washing space because we're very limited to public spaces on the ship.
Okay.
You mentioned that there's bath essentials. So would that just be like body wash and body lotion? Is there shampoos and things as well?
There's shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. And then there is hand soap and body lotion as well. And there is hair caps, there's shoe horns, there's amenity kits, there's mending kits. That's all in your room. Yeah. It's all by L'Occitane, L'Occitane, which is a French company. It's all by them. It's all premium products in your room.
And a hair dryer, correct, Leslie?
Oh, yeah, a very good hair dryer. I complained many years ago when they upgraded their hair dryers because it took forever for me to be able to dry my hair. So.
What about an iron?
No irons because that's a fire risk. So we don't have any irons on board. No.
I don't like ironing anyway.
No, none of us want to iron on vacation. I always buy that Downy wrinkle release spray and just spray that on my clothes. I'm gonna have a steam out my shower, hoping it steam out my wrinkles. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And on the walking tours, there's a lot of them are like morning only or whatever they are. How long a continuous walking would that be?
Our guides are very respectful for depending on the group, but the tours themselves are usually 2.5 hours to 3 hours. When you're looking at your excursions, it actually will have a little more detail on the My Avalon website. But if they're able to have a rest and sit down in some areas, they do, like if you're in a park, or I know like in Mainz, there's a lot of like public places to sit while they're describing something. They're very respectful and do that. We do offer easy pace walking tours for people that need it as well. And they don't want to go as far, avoiding the steps and the cobblestone if needed as well. But that's something to talk to the cruise director about on board. And Cindy's very familiar with that being on Avalon. So yeah.
So Leslie, maybe
Yeah.
when people pick the excursions, maybe you can explain when the time's released, what time the excursions start.
They'll say when you're picking excursions if it's a morning or an afternoon excursion. They actually don't put the times on my Avalon. That's something you'll get on the newsletter. But some days, like you might have two excursion choices. So when you're reading, it'll say morning excursions and then it'll say afternoon choices. Okay, so just to note that. So if that is the case, you can choose a morning excursion and an afternoon excursion. Yeah.
Mhm.
But they
As
don't ever
for
put the times. Usually they leave, to be honest with you, usually depending on the excursion, most leave around 9 o'clock in the morning.
Can you tell us what the dress attire is for dinner?
Snappy casual. We don't need any tiaras, gowns, ties, and tuxedos, everybody.
Can
You're going to be
men wear
traveling when the
shorts?
weather, when you're reading your documents, it actually talks about shorts. And it says men aren't able to wear shorts at dinner in the dining
Okay.
room.
Okay.
But you can wear denim. You can wear, as long as it's not ripped and doesn't look presentable, which most people, our denim is very nice, right? So, but it is more of a snappy casual atmosphere, no matter what. You don't need to dress up at any of our meals. Some people like to just maybe wash up and put on clean, refreshing clothes at dinner, but it's not like an ocean cruise where you need to have all day different outfits by any means.
as for the bikes, are they is e-bikes available?
Avalon will have e-bikes on your ship to use at complimentary time when you have those free afternoons. We do have e-bikes, but the bike excursions are going to be with the pedal bikes unless it says e-bike there, which I
Okay.
believe they're all with the adventure host on this itinerary. So it'd be the pedal bikes, except the
Okay.
optional excursion in Amsterdam, which would be using bikes from a local vendor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I totally get that question. I understand e-bikes are like glorious once you've been on one. So I understand the question. So there's not many hills on this itinerary, so you don't have to worry about that like other itineraries.
Mhm.
The biking was pretty flat where I was. So
Do you know how many locks we're going to go through on this one?
I don't know because it's not many.
I
There's
suppose.
not many. No, it's really there's one to get out of the canal onto the river, which that's done at night. But there's not many locks like the Danube, Cindy, at all. So.
Okay. Wow, we're
All
quiet.
right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I will sign off because I know they have a lot to talk about. But if you have any
Oh.
other questions, feel free to reach out to Cindy and Rick, and they can reach out to me. And I'm going
So
to see
what we're
them
going
in a
to
few
do,
days. Yeah.
yeah. So if you do have any questions for her, this is only one of our two meetings because we're going to have another one in August. So if you have any questions between now and then, for me to go to Leslie, I can definitely bring them to her and then have them answered on our final meeting in August.
All right. Thanks, Cindy. Thanks, everyone.
Okay,
Enjoy the
thanks,
rest of your
Leslie.
meeting. Bye. Bye, Rick.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. She's gone. She's lovely, absolutely lovely. And we're really excited. So we're just kind of going to go through, Rick and I, we're going to tag and go through our pre and post. So I know some that are coming in the day before the cruise in Amsterdam, and the majority is coming in and departing Canada on the 29th. So we're still going to go through everything. And if there's any questions at the end, Rick and I are totally open for them. So most of us are leaving on the 29th. We're going via Montreal. The ones out of Halifax are going straight to Amsterdam. And we all land about 40 minutes apart. So note to self, everybody knows to check in 24 hours before. And Rick puts lots of notes, so he can take that. Obviously, you need to check your passport. Getting at the airport, obviously, 2 hours prior to takeoff is important, even if you're going to Montreal. So that's what the main body of everybody is going via Montreal, and everybody else here, most of them are going via Halifax as well. So our arrival into Amsterdam, We arrive on the 30th. Here, transportation will be provided as part of the group. So everybody arriving on that day, we'll be setting up transfers from the Halifax and the Winnipeg departures. Those flying on the separate dates, when the hotel vouchers come, and I'll be talking to the hotel to see if they have a shuttle service for people coming in on the 1st. I'll find that out because typically Amsterdam is very good for that. I can find that out and have that information for you in August. But it's very easy to find transportation to the hotel. This is where we're staying. It's beautiful. I really I had to stick to a very westernized hotel because of the amount of people that we have going. So we're staying the Inside by Malia Amsterdam. Everybody's booked on the exact nights that we're going and the exact nights they requested. And I'll be sending all that out to everybody, their hotel vouchers that will be paid in August as well. But I hold on to those because if the price goes down, then I can adjust it. But it's no more than what I've told you. So here is the hotel that we're staying at in Amsterdam for the 3 nights. And breakfast is included with all of our hotels as well. So with the arrival, we'll check into the hotel. I'm hoping the rooms will be ready. If they're not, we can put the luggage in storage, and we'll be pretty tired after traveling all night. So it's a good time to kind of unwind and kind of explore on your own. We're going to have information on Amsterdam as well on what you can do. The 31st, again, we're going to have some information on things you could do, like the Anne Frank House or the Hop On, Hop Off, or the Vodka Ice Bar, or there's just so much to do in Amsterdam, but we'll put all that into an email and send it to you on things that you may like to do on your own in Amsterdam. The first, we're going to go through our details here. We have an optional excursion as part of our group, and it's going to be a 10-hour tour, and Rick will explain to you here shortly about that. Or if you don't want to, you can be on your own.
Yeah, the optional tour that we put together is it's basically, and for those who don't know, it's the 80th anniversary of the liberation of Holland by the Canadians. So what I did is I got a hold of a DMC, which is a local company there, with a tour guide, and I put a tour together that will go to all the Canadian spots for World War II. So this is kind of what this itinerary could change slightly because I still have to talk to the tour guide. He has another idea for another spot. So basically, how it'll work is we'll take off at 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll depart Amsterdam. It'd be an English speaking guide, and he's going to go through the whole process, the whole history of the liberation story of Canada. We're going to head down to Rose Peak Canadian War Cemetery. It's going to be there's 2,339 Canadians that are buried there, and there's a museum there to see and all that, all about the liberation of Dutch by the Canadians. We'll go there. After we leave there, we're going to head over for lunch in Nijmegen. Nijmegen, for those that know, it was destroyed during World War II. Whenever the Americans actually bombed the city, they thought it was a German place, but they actually bombed Nijmegen. And also for those who watched the story, The Bridge Too Far, well, that's where the bridge is. So we go there for lunch. Then after that, head across into Germany to Rushwald Forest War Cemetery, where there's all kinds of Commonwealth soldiers there buried there. We're going to visit that place. It's supposed to be a really, really beautiful cemetery to see. Then we'll go back on the bus, and we're going to go to the I don't want to mispronounce it, but Wanigan Hotel. This is where the freedom was signed. We get to see what that is, a walk of the town and history of everything that goes on in the little town there. So it'll be a full day of basic Canadian history. So for those who are interested in that, and one of the reasons I put it together also was because we're in Amsterdam for about 3 full days. So it'd be nice to kind of leave Amsterdam and kind of get into the countryside and learn a lot about what the Canadians did there 80 years ago. I will be sending then on the way back. we return to Amsterdam, and a scenic drive about an hour and a half. We'll arrive back at the hotel around 1800 or 6 p.m. for those who don't know what 1800 is. But we'll be back at 6 p.m. So it's almost a full day, about a 10-hour tour. And the price that came in for, if we get 18 people, it's going to be 285 a person. That's for the transport and the guide, and the hotel and the museum. If we get 35, then I can drop it. We can get it down to 235. So I'm going to send out a flat sheet or a PDF to everybody. You can see what it's about, and then we'll have to know within the next week or two of how many people want to go, and see if we get enough people interested, who wants to go on this tour. Sydney, back to you.
Great. So now we're getting on the ship that day that Leslie took us on the last 30 minutes. So we've done this before with a group. So we're probably going to be around, because we don't want to take time wasting your day. We're going to probably depart around 10 o'clock the hotel. And we're arranging all the transfers from the hotel to take us down to the ship, because we don't know where the ship's parking until 72 hours, like she mentioned before. And once you get on the ship, as Leslie mentioned, you just check in like a hotel room. They take your picture, they do what they need to do. It only takes about 10 minutes. They tag your bags, and off you go. You can stay on the ship and have an early lunch, or like she said, sometimes they do have the bistro set up there for snacks and stuff. And then you can walk back into town, or pick an excursion that they're doing for the next day, or just get your feeling. But that the reason why we're leaving at not at 8 at 10, I'm sorry, is so that we get on the ship and give our luggage away, because we're going to have to be at the hotel anyway around 11. So this way here you still have that full day in Amsterdam. So exact timings and everything, that'll all happen when we get to Amsterdam, because we arrange everything when we get there for the transfers to make sure we have that all in line. So around 9:30 or 10 at the very latest, we'd be leaving for the ship. All right, let's talk about post cruise. Post cruise. So we're going to disembark from the ship. Typically, we disembark around 8:39, just depending. Those, I think there may be one or two people that are flying right back, right from Basel, which is great. There may be somebody staying in Basel, somebody taking a train somewhere, which is great. Anybody heading to Zurich, we will have information here shortly. But with Avalon, they can't do it for us. So what we did last time is, anybody going to the train station, we all shared cabs. And as long as we get there on our train time, we're good. Cabs are lined up everywhere there. So we're about 15 minutes from the ship, and that's typically what the small towns are when you pull in to the train station. So I'll have some more information here. Rick, do you want to carry on? So our transportation to Zurich. So the transfers to the train station will be set, like I'm saying, the cabs will be there. We like to leave at 9, the ship, or a little bit before. The train station, again, is about 20 minutes from the ship. This is what we've done looking, and we're going to have the app here to purchase the train tickets. So those going to Zurich, we use an app, and I probably mentioned to most of you, it's called Trainline, and that there is going to be the train number that we're going to take. It leaves at 11:15. This way here, it leaves breathing room time, and I think it's a little over an hour train ride. So everybody needs to pre-purchase them so you have your tickets on your app, which is the best way to do it. And the link to the website, we'll email it to you following this presentation, or as soon as we get more information on that. But yeah, we'll send that to you.
Yeah, and we also, on that piece of paper we're sending, has all the instructions step by step how to book the train, and which train to book and all that. So it's pretty straightforward.
Okay. That's a look at the Basel train station. And like I said, we'll arrive there about 9:30. about 1 hour prior. That's what they always recommend. Um, there is luggage storage on these trains, but it can be limited. We've done it many times. We've never had an issue, but everybody is responsible for loading their own luggage on their train. So consider that when you're packing. Um, like I said, it's a 1 hour train ride. Food and beverages are limited on these trains, just like an hour and a half plane ride, very limited. So that's a great suggestion is to fill up your water bottle before you leave the boat. If you have a water bottle or you grab one or a little snack from breakfast or anything, any fruit, it's not a bad idea to do that. Wi-Fi is available everywhere in Europe, pretty much, even on the trains. So you can, download anything you want. But like I said, an hour goes by pretty fast on the train, especially on the pretty countryside that's going to be on. So that's great. So there is Wi-Fi on the trains. So arrival into Zurich. So we're going to get in just before noon. Again, the same sort of idea on the hotel vouchers. It'll have the address. So transportation can be done by taxi, Uber, or tram. There is a tram that and we're going to go through this again because we're going to have another meeting in August just to fine tune all this. But there is a tram that runs right in front of our hotel. And the reason why I picked that hotel because of that. It is a little bit outside the city, but the tram runs right there. So we'll have more information on that. The public transportation, you can go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, the public transportation in Zurich is exceptional. They're probably the most efficient European city as far as transportation goes. So you can buy a 3-day pass for 14 francs per day. So it works out to be, let's do my math in my head, 42 francs. That gives you a 3-day pass to go to and from, because like Cindy said, where we got the hotel is kind of out toward the airport a little bit. And the reason for that is hotels are extremely expensive if you want to be downtown. So we pick kind of one kind of centrally located by the train station. So you can use that ticket and just go anywhere you want in the city, back on the tram, go downtown. And we can also use the tram to go to the airport. So when we get off the train coming in from Basel, we can actually get our 3-day pass right there, and we can just jump on the tram and take the tram out to the hotel for those who want to come on the tram. It's quite easy to get. The only thing that, like Cindy mentioned, is luggage. Just remember, right? You are carrying rolling your luggage around, so think of that whenever you're packing and try to be a little the less is better when it comes to luggage.
Less is best. So this is the hotel we are staying at in Zurich. Again, we're going to get there around lunch, or probably after that, pretty close to check-in time, but I'm going to be contacting them closer to the time to make sure that all the rooms can be ready for when we get there. That's all I can do. And as I said, there's a tram right in front of there. If you decide you want to go check out Zurich, because again, in August, we're going to have you guys some information on Zurich and the local area and what to do and a whole thing on different things you can do. So again, you're about 22 minutes from the main station to downtown at the tram. So here's a little brief idea on what's going on. So we'll arrive on the 9th, check into the hotel. It's good to explore, and we'll have information on that as well. Again, you have the 10th. There may be stuff that you may want to do, you may want to visit. And again, we're going to have information for you on that. On the 11th, we're going to do if we'll get all that information from you guys as well. We're going to do a chocolate factory tour and then flight home on the 12th. So this is our chocolate factory tour that we're doing. It's the afternoon of the 11th. Reason being too is that I wanted to allot some time to be able to do this, and I know it is the day before we're leaving, but most of us aren't leaving
if we're still supposed to be
until the late until after lunch. So on the 12th, so we're about an hour train ride. The approximate cost is 150 Canadian train plus tour, but we're gifting the 2-hour anybody that wants to do it with us, Fair Connect's going to treat everybody to this tour factory for the chocolate, sorry. And the only thing is, we're all going to go out in the train together.
Yeah, and this particular factory is supposed to be one of the best or the top two chocolate factories
In the world.
in the world. We've had it. We've had chocolate from there, and it's unbelievable. So it'll be a really really nice for those who want to do a chocolate factory tour. This is the one to do.
Jose wants to know we're supposed to be still on because they're talking to
So then we return back home. Everybody coming back on the 12th. Anybody leaving on the 12th somewhere else? I know where you're going. We're coming home. So our flight leaves at 1:20. So we're going to be departing the hotel around 10:30, about 3 hours before the flight. Again, tram, Uber, taxi, whatever you're comfortable with at that point, bringing your luggage to the airport. And again, everybody knows to check in 24 hours before the flight. Additional points. Go ahead, Rick.
Ensure that everybody has medical coverage for your duration of the trip. As you know, Cindy does sell it, but some of these have it from your on your own insurance and stuff like that. Just make sure it's covered for the duration of the trip. Ensure you have all your emergency medical numbers with you, so if something ever happens, we're not running around struggling trying to find a number or trying to get your insurance. Check your passports. It should be valid for a minimum 6 months after your return date, right? So we're getting back September 12th, so go 6 months after. That's when it should be good for. If you're traveling with medication, do not pack it in your checked luggage. You're permitted to carry it on the aircraft as long as it's in the original container and has a medical description on it. So those who have that. And here's some apps you can download. We talked about the Avalon, your airline app, if it's WestJet or if it's Air Canada you're flying with. And Cindy's going to send you the link to the train app also for that one. Other things that's not on the slide here, I'm just going to bring it up here. Cindy, just hold on a second.
Yeah.
I'm just going to, we're working on a
Just want to
document
make,
for you.
yeah, I just want to talk while you're doing that. Do you mind?
Go ahead.
So I just want to really make it clear. So my Avalon, when you go into your Avalon, on the Avalon page on your computer, make an account if you don't have one. Put your booking number in. You can start doing your excursions. Okay. Second, when Leslie talked about Avalon Go, that means that doesn't come live till 3 weeks before you go. Reason being, like I mentioned to her about timings, I just want you to understand if it says morning, that's fine. But if you get tied up in traffic on the river, then the walking tour might be delayed a half hour. So sometimes that's why I just asked about specific times, is because of when you land into the cities, right? If there's any delays going on on the river. So again, go in, look at your excursions. Walking tours are awesome. Like we've done many walking tours. Anything like that is really good, because then you have almost the full day to go back and do something or stay in the city or whatever. So those tend to be the favorite ones, and they do be the most popular ones for sure. Mm-hmm.
So right now, me and Cindy are working on a document. We'll get it to you as soon as possible. And we're just going to tidy a few things up. But the things that you'll find on it will be the hotel, any numbers and that for the hotel. The excursions here, because a lot of us are spending a lot of time both in Amsterdam and Zurich, I'm going to send you a link to a reputable company paying Canadian dollars for any tours you want to do when you're there. There's all kinds of tours, and you can book it. You can read all about them when you have time in the evening and stuff like that, and you can book right on the site, and it's all in Canadian dollars, which is great. Trains, I got all the instructions about the trains on here, how to get all your tickets and all that, so that'll be on there. Currency to remember, it's going to be euros and Swiss francs, right? So it's going to be euros for the first when we're on the both in Amsterdam and on the river cruise, and then when we get to Basel, it's going to be Swiss francs. Both places they're very, in Switzerland, they're very good taking credit cards and stuff like that. So you don't have to worry about that type of thing. But you should take some Swiss francs to have with you. A cell phone and Wi-Fi. There's Wi-Fi on the ship. There's Wi-Fi in your hotels. There's Wi-Fi in restaurants. But I know a lot of people like to have Wi-Fi with them all the time. So you do have a couple of options. One, call your provider and see what's going to cost you, which I'm sure would be an arm and a leg. And the other option is to get a SIM card whenever we land at the airport. There's kiosks there, and you can just swap the SIM cards out. But the new crave right now is called eSIMs, where you can get electronic SIM and you can buy the dates that you want. So I'm going to send you some information on that. The only thing be advised with the eSIMs, not all phones have the ability to have an eSIM. So there's a list of phones on there. Me and Cindy are heading out of the country here in July, and we're going to try this eSIM in this company because I heard it's really good, and we'll let you know how good it is when we get back.
Mhm.
The last thing is power outlets. Netherlands is Type C and F, 230 volt. Switzerland's the same, 230 volt. Things to remember, I know people kind of get confused a bit. Adapters is you all that an adapter does, it allows you to plug your normal plug that you use here in Canada into their plug. You're still going to get 230 out. So if you have a curling iron or something like that, you're going to blow it, right? It's gonna melt, right? So if you have to bring an appliance, somebody might even have a CPAP machine with them. If you have an appliance with you, you need to get a converter. And the converter takes you 230 volts and it'll drop it down to 110 so you can use your appliance. How you can tell, converter costs about 80, 90 bucks, and an adapter costs you $5 to $10 on Amazon. That's usually how you can tell the difference on it. But there is a big difference. So make sure that that you're not using something with an adapter because it will you wouldn't be the first person to ruin a straightener or a curling iron.
Nope.
And apps to download. We're going to give you a bunch of lists of apps. City Mapper is a really good one that we'll give you because it has all the maps of all the cities that we're going to go in. Also has all the buses on there. It's really, you put where you want to go, point A to point B, tells you how to get there, how to walk there, or how to there. So it's a real good app a lot of people use. So we're working on this and we'll get you the document here in the next few days.
I just want to talk to you. One more thing that people like to chat about and know about is tipping. So your gratuities are already included as part of this group, so you don't have to tip anything on the ship. But sometimes, and I'll talk more in August about the dining. Sometimes people pick this in river cruising, they pick the same side dining because the waiters get to know you, they get to know how you like your steak or what kind of wine or whatever you like for your meals and dietary needs. And sometimes those extra people go a little long way during those 7 days. So I've seen, people give an extra, 40 euros, to a waiter that served them all week, or your steward really took care of your room. So I'm just saying that you don't have to remember that, but because it's already taken care of. But when you're out on these walking tours, they're not Avalon staff. So Rick and I always have a rule of thumb. If we go on a walking tour or anything like that, we'll do like depending on what it is and depending on the experience we have, it's okay to give 5 or 10 euro per couple. Okay. um, these are experienced people. Avalon, they hire people with big heritage backgrounds to really put you in that local culture, right, and that experience you have. So I leave that up to you, but I'm just letting you know because some people always ask, well, should I tip what, who should I tip? So, this is the people that are taking you out every day and doing a walking tour is the ones that people typically tip. But your gratuities are all included with everything. I just want you to make that clear.
And another point about the walking tours and the tours that we do, for those who are a little hard of hearing, they actually have little receivers that they wear on you, and you put one on your ear, and you put one down below, and then the person giving the tour has a mic. So you don't have to be like within 5 feet of the tour guide. You can be back 40, 50 feet and adjust the volume. So it's good.
Yeah.
It's really good for that. This way you can, if you stop and looking at something, then you can, all of a sudden you stop hearing her, you better get your butt going because they just turned the corner, right? So you want to catch up again. So, but it's really good for that. And also they have umbrellas on board in case it rains. So hopefully we won't need an umbrella. But,
And I just noticed Rachel and Barry had a question. No visas. So there's no visas required. The EU hasn't brought in that, and I don't think it's coming until next year. So there's no, other than your passport being good for 6 months, you're good to go.
So we're open for any questions. Like Cindy said, we can always email us later, and we'll go out with an email with some information, some more information, so you guys can read it too at home.
And
And
like if
also,
any of us do have dietary needs, Leslie is correct. There's a dietitian on board, and typically on the first day, she actually has a little table, him or her. And if you have any dietary needs, you just flag yourself, and you can actually walk over, and they take everything you need. So, and it's put on your file. So if you do have any, you can let me know. And if I let you know, you let me know if you do. And they're already going to know when you get on board. But I always still tell them to go on up, and if anybody has those needs, to go on up and talk to them on day one on embarkation.
We
Yeah.
got a question reference money exchange, and as euros, definitely euros, especially if, and euros and francs are the two. But like I said, they do accept credit cards, especially in Zurich. It's widely accepted credit cards there. So you adjust depending on how much you need.
All right. Any packing tips? I would pack light. I know Leslie said, long pants for men. Um, you know, we can wear anything, girls. I know that. So, like with the men, a couple pair of light pants just to throw on at night. Like they really don't judge you at all. Just want to let you know at all. I think it's just a courtesy thing for men to wear long pants. And we've only done the winter ones, so the Christmas market. So, Rick, like I would never have thought of that for her to say you can't, right?
Yeah,
Unless you're up top having something.
yeah.
So, pack less. But they do. You can send your stuff out for laundry. Pack light, but pack maybe a light rain jacket. It might happen. It probably won't, but it doesn't hurt to have it. But there's definitely, what we have on now today, during this weather is what you can get away with. I hope that helps you. But Debbie, you can call me. You know me well enough. You can call me. Um, no cost to use the bathrooms anywhere, and that's a really honest, good question because I've been in some countries. Yes, a tour operator, the tour guides tend to take you to places that's not an issue. You can use the washroom anywhere. Um, so what was the site? Okay, so when you go to Avalon, okay, just Avalon itself, Avalon Waterways, and you go to the top right corner, you'll see My Avalon. Go create an account and go put your booking number in there, and it'll all come up if you haven't done it. And what you can do too is Avalon will put your passport information in there, put your emergency contacts in there. They just like if you're cruising or anything like that, they do want, that in there. So take that time, do that guest acknowledgement, go do all that. I get notified when you do it. So if you don't do it, I'll be tracking you down. So go do it. And then you can go see your shore excursions and that. Um, and again, I'm going to have, once everybody does that, then I'm going to go look and see who has what going on. And then I can, we can go through another talk about excursions in August and how we run things on the ship with the excursions with the group. The weather's going to be beautiful. It's like weather is now. It's still summer there in September. So, packing light for women, it's easy, and men too. So just pack light, I would suggest, and something very comfortable to walk in is really important. And when you are packing, don't pack a lot of shoes and stuff because you'll see how things are so casual on board. Very, very casual. Very casual.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Cindy. Is footwear? Make sure you bring really good, solid footwear because remember cobblestone streets, stuff like that, right? Last thing you want to do is roll an ankle. Make sure you have really, really good shoes that give you good support.
Mhm, mhm.
Well, that's it, Cindy.
Wow. Okay. So
Okay.
we're going to take that. Oh, anybody else?
Nope.
Okay, good. Yeah, I hear you all the way down there. Okay. So,
Cindy, I have one question. In the package, it talks about the guest acknowledgement where you're supposed to go to globusfamily.com/reservation.
yeah, and
Is that,
that's the same one. Globus own
it's the same
Globus.
one? Okay.
Yeah, it's the same one. Yeah.
Okay, that was my question. Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
Are the excursions rain or shine?
Yep.
Normally, yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
They are. They are.
Rain, shine, or sleet.
Mhm. It won't rain that time of year. Stop it. Mhm. But we're gonna do up that Word document, Rick, and we'll have it out.
We'll get it out shortly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for all coming.
You.
Thank
We'll be
you.
in
Awesome,
touch.
guys. Thank you.
Need anything?
Thank
call
you.
Cindy.
Yeah, you know where to get a
Thank
hold of
you.
me.
Thank you.
You're welcome, guys. Bye.
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 Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Oh, there's
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Bye, Paul and Terry.
Bye.
Where am I at? There we go. Oh my God. All the faces. Get the hell out of here. How do I do that? Leave there.
Leaving. We're leaving. We're leaving without you. Can't wait to meet you guys.